Welcome to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's talk show. Now here's your host, Wilmot Mutty Perkins.
Power 106.
With Home Phone, you can get up to 12 telephone features. Call in and select yours today. Call 1-888, call CWJ. The time by Home Phone is
10 o'clock. Welcome to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's talk show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you can call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award, on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. Or email us at perkinsonline@cwjamaica.com. You can also listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Perkins Online on Power 106 FM. Now here's your host, Wilmot Mutty Perkins.
Morning, everybody. Morning, and welcome once again to Perkins Online. We are now in the month of April. Yesterday was Tom Fool Day. And it would have been yesterday, I believe, that our political shiro, our political shiro, Sister P, was celebrating her first anniversary as Prime Minister of Jamaica. In fact, the celebration is to continue for most of this week, I believe. She made a speech on the radio on, when was it, Friday evening? I don't want to disparage our Shiro, but it seems to me that I don't know, one gets the impression that she doesn't really know what it's all about. She talked about justice, about her promise in an inaugural speech at King's House to do something about the problem of justice in Jamaica. I think she was, and she's now saying that a committee has been set up to look into this issue of justice, and that is one of her great achievements. Well, quite apart from the fact, I believe, that committee came into existence before she became Prime Minister, I think. But the thing about it is that the thing about it is that setting up a committee is, a lot of committees have been set up, you know. And setting up a committee is not an achievement to be particularly proud of when it comes to the business of rectifying injustice in this country. What we want to see is not a committee set up to rectify injustice. What we want to see is injustice rectified. And I'm afraid we haven't yet seen that. We have, for example, we had the example of the murder of Mr. Wilmot, the Pakistani coach. And we have seen the confusion that seems to have attended the investigation. A post-mortem was done, we're told, and a press conference was held at which we were told that the post-mortem was inconclusive. And then, sometime thereafter, another press conference was held in which we heard that the post-mortem had yielded suspicious results. And then yet another press conference was held at which we were told that Mr. Wilmot had been strangled to death. In fact, that he had been murdered. And then we are now hearing stories that Mr. Wilmot it wasn't that Mr. Wilmot was strangled. There were some problems in relation to that story of strangulation. Mr. Wilmot, I gather, was a big man, 6'1" tall, and sturdily built. And the idea that somebody could have gone into his room and strangled him without a fight and without signs of that violence seems very unlikely. And up to now we haven't heard about such evidence. But we're now hearing that Mr. Wilmot may not have been strangled. That in fact it's more likely that he was poisoned. And that the poison would explain the vomiting and the feces that were found about. And I don't know. I gather that a request is being made for a further examination of the body, examining the organs and so on, to find out whether the particular poison that is being spoken about is to be found there. Now, this is merely emphasizing the inability of our investigative bodies properly to investigate crime. And we've been talking about this on this program for quite some time, you know, that look at the murder the murder figures, the murder statistics. We clear up somewhere in the region of a little over 30% of murders annually in this country. Cleared up. Cleared up means not solved, not that somebody was arrested, charged, taken before the courts, evidence presented, and the jury said, yes, you are guilty of the murder of that person. Not that at all. Last night, yesterday it was reported that the police had shot a man called Cheese Strix. We are told that he was wanted for several crimes, including, I can't remember how many murders, but at least one. So, one murder, or that number of crimes that he was wanted for, and he was supposed to have been the most wanted man in Jamaica. Those crimes have been cleared up. And the truth of that statement is not going to be seriously tested. We're hearing about efforts to speed up the holding of an inquest into the death of Mr. Wilmot. There are over 4,000 Jamaicans who have died in suspicious circumstances, whose deaths have not been the subject of any inquest for several years. Right? That is the situation in which the country is. And, the killings continue. The police killings continue. And almost every time there's a police killing, there's a dispute between the police and people in the area in which the killing occurs, regarding the circumstances in which the killing occurs. And more often than not, that dispute is inadequately investigated. Some time ago, when that killing occurred at Crawl, they sent abroad for, I think it was Scotland Yard, no? For persons to come and complete the investigation. They weren't on the scene from the inception. And they have no means of knowing exactly what alterations might have been made to the scene of that killing. And with all that help, of course, well, let's go no further. The jury said not guilty. The chairman of the jury was a good friend of the defense counsel, lead counsel. We take a break. We come back in a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. I was talking about the present existing situation in the justice system, which includes the human rights conditions of the country. In her speech made on Friday night, Sister P began by talking about what she had done in relation to the justice system. When you look at the condition of the justice system in Jamaica today, does it make sense for a Prime Minister to be saying what the great achievement that she accomplished in her first year, the setting up of a committee to look into the conditions of the justice system? Huh? What is that an accomplishment? The accomplishment is when something is done to put the justice system right and to preserve and to protect the rights of the Jamaican people. That is where we need to go. And what has she done about that? Shortly after she made that commitment, her first commitment to the Jamaican people, to secure the human rights of the Jamaican people, some special constables beat up a taxi driver and his wife in Halfway Tree. And she announced that she was demanding a proper investigation of the matter, and she wanted a report of that investigation on her desk in a short time. What, may I ask, has happened to that investigation and to that report? We have heard absolutely, well, I have heard nothing about it of any significance. Right? What kind of accomplishment is that? What kind of accomplishment? But there is another issue. She said something else that she said in that inaugural speech at King's House. Her first commitment was human rights. She was going to correct the abuses of the human rights of the Jamaican people that had taken place in Jamaica over such a long time. There was another, her second commitment. What was that? She was going to deal with the issue and deal decisively with the issue of corruption. In her speech on Friday night, there was not a single mention of that issue. Corruption. No mention of corruption. Which, am I to understand that she has done nothing about fulfilling that commitment to the Jamaican people to do something about corruption. And she talked about a number of other trivial, relatively, when you think of the condition in which Jamaica finds itself today. The crime, the economic circumstances, and look here, don't be fooled by these spinners who are telling us rubbish about the economy being good and this, that, and the other, and so on. If you want to find out what are the conditions of, what is the economy of Jamaica like, and where we should be thinking of going, compare Jamaica with some other countries that have really got down to the problem of dealing with the issue of economic development. This is not a developing country. This is a country with a stagnant economy. The economy is going nowhere. They're fine, they're putting in some hotels and whatnot. Right? But I'll never forget Mr. Butch Stewart telling me on this program some years ago that he had no intention of building that hotel at White House with his money, because he didn't think he would make it back. The government has built it. The money has been wasted, and Mr. Butch Stewart is telling us now that the hotel that the government built is falling apart. Right? This is not the only hotel the government has built. It built the Ritz-Carlton, or funded the building of the Ritz-Carlton, and it built others. I built one or two others. Right? Will somebody please explain to me why it is that, given the reputation that Jamaica has earned abroad, and given what has been happening in the tourism industry, because remember, you know, that a few years ago, Jamaica was in the tourism top market. Our tourists were named people, you know, and many of them, having come to Jamaica as tourists, were establishing their own homes, their own private dwellings in Jamaica, where they could come and spend holidays. There were all sorts of big names among them. All of that has vanished. And we are now in the business of hot dog tourism. And when tourists come to Jamaica, as a friend of mine said to me recently, they lock them up in concentration camps. That's the hotels such as is run by, what do they call them? All-inclusives. Because you can't allow the tourists to just wander around Jamaica because of the crime problem. Right? What we need is to get back onto the track of economic development. Sister P doesn't seem to be aware of that. Right? I thought her speech on Saturday night was trivial. But then here is I wasn't able to didn't have the time, I came down late to get anything from the speech. But here is an interview that she gave to Hot 102.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, dignitaries and members of the private sector gathered this afternoon at the Pegasus Hotel to mark Mrs. Simpson Miller's first year in office.
And Mrs. Simpson-Miller spoke with Drive Time Live's Hot 102 about some of the challenges she faced and her achievements during the past 12 months.
What stands out in your mind as your most significant achievement, having been Prime Minister of Jamaica for a year?
Well, I think that there are a number of areas. I do not want to select one particular thing, but during my inauguration presentation, I did pledge to the Jamaican people to look at justice and individual liberty. And we've been able to now move at the transformation of the justice system. And the work is ongoing, and I really feel good about this achievement. I also feel very good because a number of women have been working, trying to find proper drinking water. And for the areas we're able to put in the water system, I'm very proud about that. Proud about a number of the roads that we were able to do in terms of allowing people to have better access to their communities. The children that are able to go to school on a proper transportation system. I'm very proud of those achievements. And, as usual, education being the foundation around which everything else is revolving, and the focus on early childhood education. I think these are some of the very important areas, and certainly what I was able to achieve on the international circuit. And I think these are some of the things that stand out, but really trying to get people at the center and the heart of government and governance, I think, and feeling good that a number of people have been speaking, been giving suggestions, advice, and the fact that I've been able to listen, because I think that's a critical part of leading any organization over our country, is to listen to the people, to have that level of patience no matter what. Even a child should say, "Can I speak to you?" is to ensure you give that child that moment. And I think that is also important. And I want to thank the many Jamaicans who have been sometimes sending in their criticism, but very constructive, that I can really act upon it. And
Okay, well, there you have it. She went on to talk about criticism. But water. A few communities have got water, and old ladies don't have to be walking with water buckets on their heads, right? How many other communities are out there without water? And is she addressing that problem in any systematic way? She talks about schools, right? These children are going into the schools, and high percentages of them are coming out illiterate, right? What use is that? Of what use is that? What is it in that to be proud of? We take a break. We come back in a moment. Okay, thank you very much. Now, here is a bit of a bombshell. A story coming out of the Daily Mail in Britain.
The British police chief leading the Bob Bulmer murder hunt will fly home for a holiday this week as crack Scotland Yard detectives arrive in Jamaica to try to rescue his floundering investigation.
His floundering investigation?
Mark Shields, Deputy Commissioner of the Islands Constabulary, insists that he cannot change his plans for the break. However, his decision to relinquish hands-on control of the case amidst fears evidence may have been missed or misinterpreted, and that the Pakistan cricket coach might even have died of natural causes, will leave him open to criticism. His holiday is already being compared to the break taken by Cambridge Chief Constable Tom Lloyd, who went to France during the Soham investigation, while a huge hunt was underway for the two missing girls. Mr. Shields is scheduled to make the 9-hour journey to London on Thursday. This will give him 2 clear days to liaise with Detective Superintendent John Sweeney and his 3-man team from Scotland Yard Specialist Crime Directorate, who are to arrive late today. Mr. Sweeney, who is leading the reopened investigation into the murder of Keith Blacklock in the Broadwater Farm riot in 1985 will be assisted by 2 detectives and the scene of crimes expert. However, Mr. Shields has said that his visit home to visit his son and daughter, who live in a 3-story, £650,000 house in Suffolk countryside with his ex-wife Julia. Explaining his trip, he said, "Don't read anything into it. I've always planned to see my kids over the Easter holidays, and that is set in stone. I won't change it for anything." There are suggestions that Jamaican Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller may be losing patience with the lack of progress in the investigation. The case has heaped embarrassment on the country at the very time when the island was hoping to boost its image and the tourism revenue as one of the nations hosting the World Cup. And it goes on. There's lots on the British press, actually.
So Mr. Shields is supposed to be going off. You know, first thing, is this story really true? Is Mr. Shields, in fact, going off on a holiday in the midst of this investigation? And did he say what he was reported as saying here? We'd love to have a word with Mr. Shields on the matter. We'll try and get him during the morning here. Okay, hello? Okay, we're trying to get Dr. Carolyn Gomes of Jamaicans for Justice. Incidentally, there's a story that appeared on the front page of the Gleaner yesterday, where Mr. Andrew Holness of the Jamaica Labour Party is saying that the parents of children who misbehave in the way that has been happening in a number of schools around the country, the parents of the children who misbehave like that should be locked up. What kind of rubbish is that? Anyway, we have Dr. Carolyn Gomes with us. We don't want to keep her waiting. We'll talk some more about that later on. Okay, hello?
Hi, morning, Mr.
Morning, Dr. Gomes. How are you?
I'm all right.
You're all right?
Yeah, man.
And you were... Did you see Sister P's speech on Friday evening?
Unfortunately, I didn't see it. I mean, I've heard excerpts on the press and seen the newspaper reports.
I beg your pardon? I'm not hearing you well.
I said, unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to see it. I had a previous engagement.
I see.
But I've heard excerpts in the press and seen, you know.
And you've been most impressed?
Unfortunately not, Mr. Perkins.
No?
Unfortunately.
Oh,
not.
Lord, you don't want to disparage the Prime Minister, do you?
No, I don't want to discourage anything.
And bearing in mind that she's a Shiro.
You're too wicked, you know, Mr. Perkins, truly.
Am I? No,
yes,
no, I'm merely...
You are indeed.
You agree?
That you are wicked, yes.
No, I'm merely using her word.
The thing is, the problem is the substance, you know, is what I'm disappointed in that we
yes.
are disappointed in that we seem to be seeing reports as achievements, and we have to be very careful about that, you
yes.
know, because we have had in this country a huge history of reports.
Yes.
Sitting on shelves, growing dust, not implemented, and therefore contributing by
yes.
the lack of implementation to the continuing problem.
And there's another side to it too. She's reporting expenditure as achievement. She's talking about how much has been spent on this and that. And these are achievements. But according to Mr. Butch Stewart, a very substantial sum, 100 and whatever it is, 30-odd, 40-odd million US dollars, have been spent on the hotel down there in Westmoreland.
And
And Mr. Stewart says it's falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we are all able...
That's hardly achievement.
We are all able to point to instances of huge amounts of money being spent that have not accomplished the goals.
Yes.
Certainly, in my own experience, just on my road, I saw my road fixed. It must have been about 10 years ago, and as it was being fixed, you knew that it was money not being well spent, so you weren't an engineer, and so said, so done. Now the entire road is a shambles and needs to be redone, you know. So that's spending.
You're lucky that it lasted 10 years.
Well, it didn't. It actually lasted about a year and a half before there were huge craters, but the citizens have patched and...
Well, a lot of money is to be spent on fixing roads, obviously in preparation for the election. And we can expect that within 6-9 months to a year, we'll see the potholes coming back.
I hope not, Mr. Perkins, because, I mean, there was a very, very interesting letter in the papers over the weekend about someone speaking, and forgive me, I don't remember his name, speaking about the building of the Queen's Highway.
Yes.
And, I mean, for me, the most telling point was that was built by local people.
Yes.
And it lasted, and it was in an age where they didn't have all these huge machines and stuff, and he gave a very fascinating account of it being done.
Yes.
But that road was built well.
It was built well.
And it was built by local companies.
Yes, and there's another road like that. The road between Mandeville and Black River, right? Which was built way back in the 1950s. Now there are some parts of it now that don't look so wonderful. But that is where I believe the Water Commission did some digging up to lay pipes and so on, right? But that road was an excellent road. Very well built.
Yeah.
Right? Way back in the 1950s.
So that we are fully capable of maintaining, of having a standard that is international and world class.
Yes.
The question is why we're not demanding it.
Absolutely. And there are parts of that Mandeville to Black River Road, the parts of that surface, you know, huge areas of that surface, that, in my understanding, are original.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is even in the face of the new big trucks that they could not have
all of that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the road that takes in Bamboo Avenue and goes all the way down.
It goes down Bamboo Avenue. Which is Bamboo Avenue?
Bamboo Avenue and just above the Black River Morass, where they...
Oh, yes. Goes straight down to Black River.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
so that we're fully capable of getting it right. The question is, why haven't we been getting it right? And what has been stopping us from demanding and ensuring as leaders that we get it right?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, I'm very concerned that we are citing the completion of this review as an achievement, the review of the justice system. Because it is not. It is... There have been numerous reviews of the justice system, numerous reports, some of which you can't even find. They seem to be under lock and key in somebody's office.
Yes. You know, Dr. Gomes, you know what I believe? That to get the justice system right in this country, you see, we're going to have to divest our minds of what I call the paradigm of the plantation. Right? Where we believe that some people are important and have rights and should be protected by law. Those are people who live in the great houses. There are other people, the niggers who live in the barracks, and they have no rights. Right? And that continues to pervade our society.
Yeah.
Hold on just a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you, Dr. Gomes.
Yes.
Hello, yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Uh-huh.
No, we were saying about reports and a huge number of reports and the change of the paradigm, the thinking that we are using to pattern our behavior.
Yes.
And I mean, I absolutely agree with you. I think that there's a cultural shift that needs to occur, a change in the way we look at ourselves to start with, and then others within the society. But I also think that it is entirely possible to make changes, even within the culture that we have, once you have leadership that will point the way towards those changes.
Yes.
What we are not seeing, what I am not seeing, is or convinced about, is that there is that will.
The will to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. And in any event, Dr. Gomes, I mean, to thoroughly, change the justice system, right? Reform the justice system. All right, requires some study. But there are some things that are obvious that can be done immediately, don't require any great amount of... I mean, the business of human rights, for example, and the abuse of the rights of people in what is called the justice system, if you include the police and all that. There are things that could have been done about that. One got the impression from her inaugural speech that she was going to, she knew what she wanted to do and was going to do it.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Perkins. Remember we had that conversation where we were hopeful that we would be able to see something. You know? Yes, no, I mean, we have just submitted a report to this task force that is doing the review. And we've called it For Want of a Nail. You know that children's rhyme, Mr. Perkins? For want of a nail, the horseshoe was lost.
Yes.
For want of the horseshoe, the horse was lost. For want of the horse, the rider was lost. For want of the rider, the battle was lost.
Yes.
All for want of a horseshoe. I mean, something as stupid, Mr. Perkins, and forgive me for calling it stupid, but it's stupid, as the fact that we are using the 2002 jurors list, voters list, to summon jurors in the coroner's court. So, I mean, when we don't have any jurors turning up and the people come and tell you that it's because they can't find them, believe it, because 300 and something thousand people removed in the course of that list were in fact taken off of the list. So that all we had to do is go to the post office and get a copy of the new 2005 voters list. And then maybe we wouldn't get so many returns coming back when we send out summonses.
Yes.
But stupid things like that continue to carry on.
Yes.
I mean, I am of the understanding that there was a report done in 1999 that said if changes were made in a particular direction, that the government could look to earn money in the justice system. Several $100 million they would be making in additional revenue. But that report has never been made public. And in fact, I'm very, very certain has never been implemented. So why are we going back to study what we know? And how do we know that when we finish studying it, we're going to get any action to change it?
Absolutely. There have been a number of such reports.
Including the Wolf study.
The Wolf report?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was a very detailed with minority reports and consultations island-wide, and I mean, where is it? What has been implemented from that?
And when she...
Each time we do these reports, it's taxpayers' money, pay for them.
Yes. Shortly after she made that speech about human rights, there was an incident in Halfway Tree where some special constables beat up a taximan and his wife.
Yes.
And she asked for an immediate investigation into the matter and for a report to be put on her desk. Are you aware of that report having reached her desk?
I don't know, because we never heard back from her about it, did we?
No, I haven't heard anything more about it.
Yeah, and you say that a taximan was killed.
Yes.
Over the weekend.
Yes.
In Halfway Tree.
Yes.
By a special constable.
Oh, gosh.
And
it continues, this situation continues, Dr. Gomes, in which fine, there are men out there with guns, eh? And the police may find themselves in situations where they have to deal with situations which result in somebody dying, right? But almost every time that there is a death in those circumstances, the police tell one story and people in the area tell another one. One does not have a sense of there being, of these stories being tested in a way that will give the public confidence. Right, that either the police story is right, or the people's story is right, and action is taken against the perpetrators, right?
Yeah, and
that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen only with
and that doesn't need any long report to happen.
No, it doesn't.
To be done.
But you see the effect of poor investigations, not only as it relates to police abuse or police killings, but I mean, we're bouncing it up now with this whole question marks about the investigation of the death of Mr. Wilmot.
Absolutely, yes.
You see what, I mean, I am watching with keen interest. Jamaicans for Justice is watching with keen interest to see what is going to happen with this coroner's inquest.
Well, you know that, Mr.
And if I'd been asked, I'd have told them they definitely needed to have a second post-mortem.
Yes. But we are now...
Or an observer at that post-mortem.
Have you heard the story, Dr. Gomes, that the man was not strangled, he was poisoned?
I've heard all kinds of rumors. I've heard all kinds of suggestions, which really we need to be able to put to bed one way or the other.
Yes.
But
well, I was hearing this on the radio this morning.
Unfortunately, the way we conduct our forensic examinations and the way we do our forensic investigations does not allow for a great deal of confidence.
Yes.
In the outcomes of the investigation?
Yes.
I mean, it's standard international. I'm really dying to know, to tell you the truth, Mr. Perkins, because it's standard international practice that pathologists, forensic pathologists, go to the scene.
Yes.
You know, because you can learn a lot from the scene.
Yes.
You can learn about the size of the bathroom, whether it's credible that two men were in there fighting.
Yes.
You can learn all sorts of things that help you to come to your conclusions. I would love to know if it happened in this case. I very much doubt it because it doesn't happen for the rest of us.
Well, I don't know. But,
I'm dying to see if they're going to put the media on those hard benches in the coroner's court, the little 1-1 hard bench in the back. To go sit down and watch the coroner take notes by longhand. I'm wanting to see if what is good for Kwashi is good for the foreign visitor.
Bakra.
For Bakra.
Yes.
But I doubt it.
Well, look here, Dr. Gibbs. Have you heard the latest story coming out of the Daily Mail in Britain?
I heard it being read on your station this morning.
Isn't it curious?
Very.
Well.
No, it's too sad, Mr. Perkins. And the thing is, if we had done what we're supposed to do, what we have been told to do over and over again over all these years, we wouldn't be in this position, you know. We'd be a little further along the road.
Yes.
If we'd taken stock of the effect that having the coroner right by longhand has on the pace of justice.
Yes.
If we'd taken stock of the effect that inadequate postmortems have on conviction rate.
Isn't that still going on in the Supreme Court, or have they stopped it?
I can't speak for the Supreme Court. I don't think that it occurs in all the cases in the Supreme Court, but I can't speak to it. I certainly can speak to it in the coroner's and RM's courts.
Yes.
You know? And I mean, if we're taking stock, we've been bawling for eight years of our existence about the forensic postmortems and the inadequacy of them, the inadequacy of the quality of it.
Yes.
If we'd made even one little attempt to fix it up and have it properly supervised, then we wouldn't be in this position now.
No.
But we haven't. We still leave the bodies to go pile up.
And I tell you something. We are being embarrassed the world over
It is.
That what is not happening in this Wilmot case.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr.
Right.
Perkins. It's very sad for me, because as it must be sad for you too, because this is your country and you don't like to see it put in this position.
I got a call from somebody in the Far East complaining about the embarrassment that this was in China. Somebody in China, right? Called to say how embarrassing the information coming out about this Wilmot case and how it was being conducted.
It's hurtful to me, Mr. Perkins, because I'm quite convinced, going back to the start of our conversation, that we know how to do better.
Yes, indeed.
But we're just quite happy for Kwashi down in the barracks. Perhaps his mother's body or his brother's body.
That is the basic problem, Dr. Gomes. The basic problem.
Yeah, it's okay for
right?
him to
And
have
one
his
would
mother's
hope,
body flung on a trolley
one
on
would
top of
hope
her next body.
that a woman coming from the bowels of the working class would have understood this and would have set about at a very early stage doing what could be done to rectify it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dr. Gomes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All the best to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. Mr. Holness says that parents should be locked up when their children behave as has been happening recently in schools like the Kingston Technical High School, and there was a KC boy, and boys from all over the place have behaved in these ways. And the parents should be locked up. What rubbish is this? How can you hold the parents guilty of a crime because a child went and did something wrong? And are children susceptible solely to the influences of their parents, or do they come under other influences? Notably, the influence of the culture, of the predominant culture in the society at large. I don't know. Mr. Holness, you're joking, man. You can't possibly be serious. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Mutty, I say full minds think alike, because I was dumbfounded when I heard him made a statement on the Breakfast Club, you know?
Which one is that?
Mr. Holness.
Oh, that one.
Man who had so much respect for. But
was it on the Breakfast Club that he made it?
Yes, he made it first on the Breakfast Club the morning. Oh, he got in such a thing. Oh, the parents should be locked up. I tell you, Andrew, I'm disappointed in you. And please reconsider your position and apologize to the Jamaican people. It's not good for your talk.
I don't think that it is something to be taken seriously.
No.
Well, it is in a way, because Mr. Holness is a prominent member of the Labour Party.
Yes,
and if that is the kind of thinking that he's taking into government,
Mutty, they have told us that the people who are committing crime are the teenagers, we say about 12, 13, and going up to about age 25. Has it ever occurred to you that all those people have grown up under the influence of the PNP government?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Because they have been in power 18 years now. And so children who were 5 years, 6 years, even 8 years, even up to 10 years before they came into power, they would have been influenced by what the society did under the PNP regime. You understand?
Strongly influenced, yes.
You know, and I think the government has talking about their accomplishments. Talk about what their responsibility. What is their responsibility that these children have grown up, right? And look, the Minister of Finance constituency seems to have but most of these, or certainly a lot of these people,
But you know, sir, do you remember what is his name? General Lewin or whatever his rank?
Yes, Major Lewin.
Major Lewin? Is it?
Yeah.
You remember what he said?
About the factory. We
about the factories that were producing these persons, these criminals? Transforming into criminals.
Yes.
What could have been scientists and artists and
So this is a solid
musicians,
achievement.
whatever.
This is a solid achievement, you know.
Yes.
This is a solid achievement, right? And it's time we come on level with the Jamaican people. The country is in a mess. And making all sorts of damn fool statements about what is this and what is that. It's nonsense. And it's a form of madness for us to be staring reality in the face and telling you so that is a good thing. The country is in a terrible situation.
Yes, it is.
And it is getting worse every day.
It is.
And you know, Mutty.
And spending some money, putting up a few houses, right? Or putting water supply into one particular area.
Yes.
Right? That is not going to...
Not in the least.
To answer the
Look, Mutty,
problems.
I can tell you something. You've always said about our independence was hijacked.
Yes.
In 1962.
That is quite true.
Right? And it could have, you know what it calls for now? Civil society. Right? The Americans can say in their credo is the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The French, after the French Revolution, the slogan of the revolution was liberté, égalité, and fraternity. Right?
Yes.
Okay. What is ours? What is ours? What great philosophy drove us? What did our leaders say to tell you what is the our independence?
Ours is out of many one people, and that is a lie.
That's not true. That's
it
not
is a
true.
lie.
And what is happening in the Wilmot case? Because when you look, Mutty, I don't think I'm racist, but when you look in the society column, they like to pre themselves in the Gleaner and the Observer. Look at the people that you see all the while in these society columns, right? You believe that Jamaica and the PNP can boast that never in the history of Jamaica have so few had it so good, right?
Yes.
And when you look at the majority of our Jamaican people, all they can say, where's the beef? Where's the beef? Where's food at the table?
And you know,
look at National Housing Trust. And Sister P talking about raising it to almost $1 million homes. Look at that letter in today's Gleaner. Look at that letter in today's Gleaner when the sports civil servant saying that you have to get a $3 million house, you have to be earning $15,000 a week to qualify for that. And they talk about up to $6 million house now, so you have to be earning. We are the poor people, they're just earning $2,500, $3,000. I mean to say, who is this country? Who is it benefiting? Hey, Mutty? Tell me who knows interest. Tell me, Mutty, we have to assert ourselves. We the poor people and everybody in this country. We have to get up and decide what kind of government we want. Right?
Yes.
And I would begin to say, a government that rules with the consent of the governed. Right? And when it comes on to our human rights, this parliament has been debating for months, for years, about Bill of Rights. The parliament is not supposed to give us a Bill of Rights. We, the people, should come and decide what we want.
That is absolutely true, sir.
You understand, Mutty?
Yes.
Rather than waiting for the politicians.
But are we as a people capable of it? Right?
But we have to stir them up, Mutty.
Yes, but I'll tell you something, sir.
Yes.
What you might call in Jamaica, the intelligentsia, that should be taking the lead in these matters.
Yes.
That intelligentsia is part of one of the fragments, into which the society has been split. Right?
Yes.
Because they fancy themselves as being great house people.
Yes.
Right?
That's all they want.
The big business people, all of them. Right?
Great house people.
They're big great house people. And the little niggers, them down there, them don't care too much what happened to them.
Yeah,
right?
And I believe that
and this is creating a situation, sir.
Yes.
I think that more than anything else is driving crime in this country. And the idea that the man must get hold of a gun and make what him can make out of it. Shoot who he want to shoot.
Yeah.
Man step on into shoot him. Right?
Mutty, look on what is happening in our country. There's a creeping sort of autocratic thing coming over. The passing laws to take away our civil liberties one by one. Beginning with Michael Manley, with that tried people in sort of
in the secrecy of the gun court.
With the gun court.
Which was supposed to be red because it was red.
The rights of Jamaican people. And then just jump up, yeah. It's red and it's dread. No good God. How can a man who presents himself as this intelligent man, the intelligentsia of Jamaica with all in friends, I'm telling you, they paint the building red because it's dread. Don't you see them take this thing for a puppy show? They don't respect the black people of this country. It's red because it's dread. And you're taking away our civil liberties. No money, they come with different laws talking about extradition. Look at what's happening in the extradition thing.
Yes.
We have a Minister of Justice. Is he Minister of Justice for America? Or is he Minister of Justice for Jamaica?
Well, I don't know.
We had a previous minister who sent back a Jamaican citizen to America. Right? And said that he did something, and when he go to America, they try him on something different and lock up the body. That's up to today.
Yes.
No, we have this other one here. Well, they call him intellectual lightweight or flyweight or whatever. But he was so eager. He was so eager to sign an extradition order for a Jamaican citizen. Of who is the servant? And he should be a epitome of justice for the Jamaican citizen.
Absolutely. Hold on just a moment for me, sir. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
I think that we need a mental revolution in this country.
We do.
We have to. And as I said, I expect school, college, the time has come for us, Mutty, to connect with the Jamaican people and with the principles that should define Jamaica as a nation, which is ruled with the consent of the governed.
Yes.
Right? And they're talking about constitutional reform. We have little committees in the House and setting up what they want to do. They can't even agree on a bill of rights. Because we have no rights really, Mutty. Because all these rights are proscribed by what they put in the Constitution to suit them. That if anything comes, they can get gun and shoot we down and kill we if we stand up for our rights. All of these so-called rights that we have are not rights like how people have the rights in America. It's prescribed by what these our so-called political leaders put in the Constitution, which we had no input in doing, Mutty. And so I am calling up on universities, high schools, community organization, the press association, the bar association, advocates association, PSOJ, chambers of commerce, Jamaicans for Justice, Jamaica Council for Human Rights, Mrs. Sober's organization, to let us decide what rights we have and come together and form committees, go throughout the country and explain to the little black people out there what you should have as a right and what independence means. Independence do not mean that we must depend on somebody. As Marcus Garvey said, quote, God and nature first made us what we are, and then out of our own creative genius, we make ourselves what we want to be.
Yes.
Follow always that great law. Let the sky and God be our limit, and eternity our measurement. There is no height to which we cannot climb by using the active intelligence of our own minds. Mind creates, and as much as we desire nature, we can have through the creation of our own minds. So listen, people, believe in yourselves. Think of what you want to be. Think of what Jamaica wants to be. Not what PNP want to be. Not what GNP want to be. But what we, the citizens of Jamaica, want to be. right? And we must frame the parameters into that. And then we have a constitution that will prescribe the members of parliament and not to prescribe the rights of our Jamaican people. That is what I'm...
But there is a need, mister. There's a need, sir.
Yes.
For those people who see themselves as great house inhabitants.
Yes.
They need a revolutionary change of mind too.
Yes, they have to have a revolutionary thinking.
Because that is what is one of the things that is driving this country berserk.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. For instance, when they have these political rallies, the truck them is give them a little lunch, give them a little something. And they chat all heap of nice thing and they ray.
Yeah.
And when they go on, what is the practical result? You have a few interconnected people in the hierarchy of the party. That rich billionaire, millionaire, when they come out and them jump in them four-wheel drive vehicle and knock them up. They don't care them about the foot soldiers, you know.
But they would have been richer.
Exactly.
If they would pay some attention to those people who are suffering down there. And help to create the kind of Jamaica in which those people would have opportunity.
But they're not interested in that money. They want the clientelism, the dependency syndrome.
Yes.
That's when they call them jump in a bus and jump anything for a little money.
Yes.
They don't want them independent and thinking of themselves and self-respect people. They don't want that. That's why the education system is as it is. That's why they can't find money to have early childhood education.
Imagine Sister P being proud of sending more children to school.
Yes.
In a situation where high percentages of those children are coming out of school unable to read.
Exactly. Is this the revolution in education? To graduate more illiterate people?
Oh, boy.
I mean to say, and yet we can't find the money for it. But to find it for this full World Cup cricket, that is becoming a disaster.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, Mutty? I am asking you, Mutty, to see if you can call upon these organizations. And we have meetings that just get a panel to go around and to decide what constitution we want.
Yes.
Look how long they're talking about what rights they're going to give us. I don't believe any MP can give us rights. We are born with inalienable rights.
Yes.
And we'll set up a system of government to guarantee those rights and to prescribe their behavior. All this while I see the full bleed editorial talking about traffic guru and it's an opportunity for campaign financing. Why you don't go into the thing and see what kind of racket was going on? What was it under the table payment? What was it for? What was this contract? No, everybody wants to sweep it under the rug and cover this nonsense about contribution to party. Of course, it is important to have that done. But in the signal event of traffic guru, we must find out what happened. We are a sovereign people and we must think of ourselves as that.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, buddy.
All right, all the best to you.
Good.
Hello?
You put the cut off the phone, you know?
No, the phone don't cut off, man.
Oh.
You're there on the air now.
Sir, Mr. Perkins. Good morning, sir.
Hi.
I've been waiting for nearly an hour now.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you know, why I respect you, Mr. Perkins, is that, you split justice. You always split justice, sir. Even with Mr. Holness thing, this morning, I didn't know that you would come out and say...
Why?
You know, because people always talk about, say, you always speak on one side.
Oh, yeah?
But, you proved me right because I always tell them that you're a man of justice, sir. And, you proved me right this morning and I feel good about it. I want to raise 2 points with you, Mr. Perkins. The first point, quick point. I heard they're talking about the budget and the cut in the budget. And that they are also going to spend a little above what they spent last year. But what they are saying that is not much for what they spent last year.
Yes.
But I was listening to a media. I don't remember the station that I was listening to. And they were saying that that money that they are talking about, the money that they spend on the ICC World Cup and all of those things is including. So I'm asking you if that's true.
I don't know about that, sir. I don't think so.
hearing that
that money has already been spent.
Oh, the money. Okay, the money
right?
that they're talking about in the budget this year is already being spent.
No. The money they're talking about in the budget this year is money to be spent between the 1st of April this year and the 30th of March next year, right?
Well, maybe I get it wrong then.
31st of March, no? March has 31 days.
Okay, maybe.
Whatever.
Is the expenditure then?
Uh-huh.
I think it is the expenditure they are talking about.
Yes, they're talking about what the government proposes to spend.
Yes, sir.
For, well, we are already in this new financial year.
Yes, sir.
The financial year 07-08,
yes.
right? And that is what this budget is about.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I understand that. Another quick point, Mr. Perkins. My mind drew back to those people that died in Tivoli Garden a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
Including Mr. Adams and...
Speak up a bit.
Yeah, including Mr. Adams.
Yes.
The people that died in Tivoli Garden a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
I was reading the paper sometime last week where Mr. Adams was saying that the PNP asked him to run.
Yes.
On a ticket.
Yes.
And I was thinking about it this morning because I always sit down on Mr. Perkins because I come out of a home with PNP. My mother was PNP, my father was PNP. Well, it's PNP, well, I don't know if that changed.
Down to the very fowl in your yard was PNP.
Yes, sir, but I always listen and from a child I always read the paper, the newspaper, and I listen for myself, I read for myself. I don't go off of what other people say, Mr.
Yes.
Perkins. You know? And this morning I was sitting down and thinking, I said, if they ask Mr. Adams to run on the ticket for the PNP, that means he was a PNP long time. And
well,
the party must have known that he was a PNP in order to ask him to run.
Mark, you hold on a little bit. The party is saying that it did no such thing. Mr. Buchanan denied that Mr. Adams was asked to run.
So somebody is telling a lie.
Somebody is not telling the truth.
So what Mr. Adams is a public official, so I mean he shouldn't tell a lie like that. Is there a charge for that?
I beg your pardon?
Is there a charge for telling public lie in this country?
I don't know that what he said he could be charged anything for.
Okay, because what Mr. Perkins is that if he's not telling, if Mr. Adams is not telling a lie, then Mr. Buchanan would be telling a lie. Then somebody is telling a lie, and you know what always happens? Those lies come out, and the people tell those big lies, and nobody come back and apologize to the public. You understand, Mr. Perkins?
Yeah.
And I'm sick and tired of those things now. Believe
Mark, you, I tell you something. Do you really think it likely that the People's National Party would ask Mr. Adams to run? It would be they'll be taking a serious chance there, you know.
Why? Why do you think so, Mr. Perkins?
Well, having regard to Mr. Adams' career, right?
Yeah.
If the PNP, well, precisely what you said a while ago, if the PNP were known to have asked Mr. Adams to run, then people are going to find it easier to say, hold on a little bit. All them things that Mr. Adams was doing for the party.
Yes. Mr. Perkins, believe me, the people in Jamaica are not fool again.
I beg your pardon?
The people in Jamaica is not a fool again. Even if they was thinking on their own in time past, I think the people in this country became sensitive towards, especially politics.
Hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
I believe in an election time when they're doing the seat. I think they usually do a constituency poll.
Yes.
And the person that come out on top, they will choose that person to run in that seat.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe if they didn't do
But they haven't done any. They didn't do anything like that with
Mr. Adams.
Well, I don't know about Mr. Adams, but what's the name of that man up in East St. Andrew there?
I really don't know because
East Rural St. Andrew.
that's Mr. Clue.
Mr. Clue.
Oh, yeah, because that's why they have to move him.
Why they move Mr. Clue?
And you know, Mr. Perkins, guess what happened? You know, a lot of the other constituency, there are a lot of people go just like Mr. Clue. Even in Northwest Centre, there's a man that is running down here. He was a vet. He's a vet or something. And believe me, he not even talk to the people. He not even talk to the people. You will see him pass through and he wind up his car glass and...
Is that the problem with Mr. Clue?
Well, maybe... Mr. Perkins...
Or is it that Mr. Clue chat too much?
I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know about Mr. Clue, but I'm telling you about this one in Northwest.
Oh. But you don't know some Mr. Clue chat?
Well, believe me, I didn't even know about Mr. Clue till I hear it and hear what the other day that they are changing Mr. Clue because...
That what?
I didn't know about Mr. Clue. I didn't know that there was a man by the name of Mr. Clue.
Yeah, man.
Till the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I hear it on the radio.
No, man.
That they are changing him. And they was trying to downplay that before. You know, that like he was going to stay. So I guess...
No, man. Mr. Clue open him mouth and chat.
Or talk against him just like Mr. Ennis.
Eh?
Just like Mr. Ennis.
Like Mr. Ennis?
Yes, sir.
Well, a different thing from Mr. Ennis. But anyhow.
Mr. Perkins.
Yeah.
When I represent the people in our constituency, Mr. Perkins, even if I don't have anything to give the people them, why say I deal with the people them, I sit with them, I talk to the people, you come down to the level of the people them, because nobody is better than no one. No one is better than the other. Some people may have a little money than the other one, but nobody is better than the other.
True.
You understand? Why you can come through, you talk with the people, them, counteract with them, sometimes play them and know with the people. I mean, you cannot lose. But this man in Northwest Centre, he not even as much as know his own people. You know? And he's on a wrong path, so I think they might have to change him too.
Who is that?
He's a vet, Mr. Whitting and something like that.
Oh.
You know, he's not doing anything, nothing at all. I'm not here campaigning for no party. I'm no diehard, Mr. Perkins. No diehard. I vote half an issue.
Yes.
You understand me?
Well, keep that up. And think of your country, Jamaica, and your people.
Yes, sir.
That is what is important.
And I have 4 children, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
In this election, I'm going to vote for my children.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you which party I'm going to vote for, but I'm going to vote for my children, Mr. Perkins.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You have a good day now.
All the best to you, too.
All right.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
How
is it in Jamaica?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. I think the sun is shining outside.
Well,
the mountains are beautiful.
The sun is shining here in Florida, too.
Eh?
The sun is shining very well in Florida here, boy.
Well, I'm not outside. I'm locked away inside, but this morning it was sunshine out there. So I don't know if...
You know, Mr. Perkins, that gentleman that, Mr. Roger Clark.
Yes.
Was he always that big, before he went into politics?
Oh, yes, man. I suspect, I think that he was a little bigger even. I think he has lost some weight.
Well, you think so?
Yeah, man.
Was it the, I know he was chubby, but I think since he went into politics, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, he gets a little bit bigger.
No. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Perkins, what do you see for a young person living in Jamaica now who have leave university, leave all these, what do you call it now? The parents have spent so many money to send them to university, send them to these colleges and all these things. What do you see a future for a young person in Jamaica?
Well, I tell you something, a lot of them have either migrated or are trying to migrate. A lot of them have.
You know, that you know.
A very high percentage of university graduates have migrated.
Yeah, that's very sad because, you know, I can remember in the early 90s when, you know, when things is, you know, going in Jamaica and, you know, but honestly, I don't know what is going to happen right now because I have a friend that came up the other day. She's an artist, you know, and she said, boy, she prints some very good pictures, you know, and she's saying, boy, I wish if I don't have to go back to Jamaica. So I said, why you say that? Why you don't, you know, want to go back home? And she said, why the crime rate, you know, they can't sell their product and the how much their product value is like they can't get the right money for it. You know, so I'm saying when a young person like that leave Jamaica, you understand, with those skills that they have,
yes,
and come here and see a brighter thing,
yes,
can you wrong them from running away from their country?
No, I don't think so. Unless, of course, they could have stayed here and helped to make the necessary. But young people don't think in those terms, you know. They're.
But you see, why are they not thinking it in that term? Is it because of the kids?
Well, because they probably would feel that the obstacles to progress are too great for them to overcome. Right?
Yeah, but at the same time, too, as well,
this country isn't looking in any such direction. So.
Pardon?
This country is not really seriously looking in any such direction. You know?
Oh, boy. And this is where we're going to go wrong now, you know.
Huh?
This is where we're going to go wrong. Because, you know, it's like I have a friend. He was in London, and he tried everything. Mr. Perkins, he tried everything to stay over there. And the immigration, they tried to turn him, the Home Office turned him down 3 times. 3 times. And now he's back in Jamaica. And it is so sad to know that, boy, people do these things and try to get away. And, you know, when they think that they're safe, boy, they get shipped back home.
Yes.
And what are they going back home to? Unless you have a strong background, are you really going to go through with the fight and say, boy, you know what, look here, what, I'm going to try for myself, for my country, and try to see what I can make out of what I have.
Yes.
To build it in an empire, to build it that as a role model that other younger folks in the neighborhood can see what I'm doing, and they will come and regroup with me now as well, and try to make better as a community.
Look at an organization like Jamaicans for Justice, right? This is an organization such as you're talking about, not dealing in economic issues, but in issues of human justice, right? And of the rights of people and so on. How much support do you think they have in Jamaica? Huh? When a couple of years ago, they called for a demonstration. Where was it? In Halfway Tree or somewhere like that, right? And if they had 200 people, they had a hell of a lot, right?
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same problem we have over here in South Florida, you know. We Jamaican people, we don't push towards changes. You know, when there is a dance or a show going on, you will see thousands of us.
They love that.
You will see thousands and thousands of us.
Yes.
There. You know, but when it's like they on a radio program over here, because me and my friend have a radio program over here as well, and I was listening to another station on Friday night, and the topic was about family. How is the family? What are you doing to maintain that discipline, to maintain that, strive in life? And do you know for the whole night, Mr. Perkins, it's a program from 10 to 1. For the whole night, you have 3 callers.
How many?
3 callers.
3.
For the whole night. 3 callers. 3 callers.
Well, that tells you something about us.
I couldn't... Pardon?
That tells you something about us, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it is for a person who is looking forward to come back home. Myself here, and it's a research that it's really playing my mind right now, because I'm saying yes, even the Jamaican for Justice situation that you're talking, but are they just looking at crime alone? Are they looking at for the betterment of the younger generation?
No, they're not just looking
community.
They're not just looking at crime. They're looking for to protect the rights of the Jamaican people, right?
Right.
That's what they're looking for.
Well,
and the Jamaican people are not sufficiently interested to give them the support that one might have expected them to be given.
But Mr. Perkins, do you think that it's a thing that we have been these Jamaican people have just been brainwashed over the years by these politicians, by these members of parliament that go around and just looking from, come and sit down with you, have a beer this week, and come and play a little domino, and you say, yes, boy, Mr. Casamuda came and have a drink with me, Mr. Chuck came and, have a look at my car.
Hold on a little bit for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Yeah, so we were saying that, is it because these politicians over the years have brainwashed us? Well, I've been brainwashed, but I'm out of the brainwash, But, these regular citizens of Jamaica, politicians come and they have their, come and eat from them, come in them, look at one shuttle house there and, sit down with them, have a little drink, have some curry chicken or something. And they feel good. They feel good to know that the member of parliament have come and, sit and eat with them and promise them this, but they can go to their friend and say, oh, Mr. Samuda came and have a drink with me now, and that's all I want. That's all I want. Is it that mentality that the people still carry on with and don't want the change that they're supposed to get?
Well, I don't know if they don't want the change, sir. But they don't do what is necessary in order to get the change.
No, you see, but Mr. Perkins, I look at that situation, over the years, you have heard that the inner city youths, the inner city young ladies have fallen to, crime by doing these awful crimes, doing this and doing that. Do they have the money to finance what they're doing, running all these racketeering? Is it society, the government as well, security, of just looking on these underprivileged people, of just being, all of them have to be bad, and they're not looking at the uptown younger folks that is financing these things in Jamaica, buying the guns, buying all these things to carry out these robberies and, murder. Are they not looking they're just looking at one direction?
Well, sir, I will agree with you to the point that these matters require investigation. And it isn't clear that the quality of the investigation is such that they are, discovering who the people are that are fomenting these things and finding the evidence to put them before the courts. Right?
Right.
So they...
Yeah, that... But you see, I look at it, Mr. Perkins.
It is going to take more
I know a young lady.
It is going to
There's a young lady, she's 20 years old. And she has to be prostitution, right, we call it now, dancing, that go-go thing. And right now, because she cannot find a job, she cannot find the means of paying her rent. And last week I heard the government have come out and said 90% of the society is working. Is it that true?
That's rubbish, sir. 90% of the labor force. Not true. Right? What they're doing, they're leaving out a large proportion of the labor force on the ground that they are not seeking employment. Right? When people get fed up of going around trying to find a job, right? And they can't find one after years, and they give up. They are no longer in the labor force, according to the method of calculating these things, right? So you have one hell of a lot of people who are left off the labor force, and they then say that 10% of what is left is unemployed. You know, that's rubbish.
But you see, Mr. Perkins, you know, are we going to continue to feed this, taking all this rubbish like we are a dump, like we don't have no sense? Are we going to continue as a people?
Well, if we continue like that, sir, we are going to live the consequences of it. Okay? Simple as that. All right?
Yeah, but you see, this is what I'm saying. We know that Jamaican for Justice is doing this marvelous work in Jamaica.
Well, they're trying hard.
And they're trying hard.
Yes.
But I tell you a new thing right now that is going on here up in South Florida.
Huh?
Right now, people is threatening. People in South Florida right now, what is going on now is there's a push. There's a push right now to stop Western Union in money into Jamaica.
Yeah.
So you know, Western Union is a part of keeping Jamaica alive.
They're trying to. Who is trying to stop Western Union?
Well, there's a push right now in the radio. Certain different radio stations is suggesting that it's a suggestion that to stop all these things. When even our politicians come up here, we need to let them sign something of showing us that they're going to make some change. Or if not, we're not going to, the business people them up here is not going to, support them when they come up here.
I see. All right, sir. So, thank you very much. We're running out of time. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, what a pleasure it is at long last to talk to you. I'm just a visitor, and my time is up now, so I have to go back home to work. And I've been listening to your radio every year since I've been visiting. My dad's retired here. And so, I just wanted to put my penny's worth in about certain things.
About?
For example, the police here. I listen to a lot what people have been saying about the police. And I always feel the problem is people can't have their cake and eat it.
People cannot have their cake, eat their cake and have it.
For example, when they shoot some big gunman down, people go, yeah, brilliant. And then, on the other hand, they'll beat up or kill somebody innocent, and then they're saying, oh, well, we can't have this, and we want an inquiry, which never happens.
Yes.
So they can't say, oh, it's okay to kill this person, and not okay to
There is
kill
a
this.
case of that right now going on, right?
Yeah.
Where they are backing the police for killing this person, right?
Yeah.
Because they say this man was a gunman and whatever.
Yeah.
The question is whether the police killed that man in circumstances that were lawful, or in circumstances that were not.
But it's happening all the time.
The people seem not to be concerned about that aspect of it at all.
Yeah, and then when, for example, you were talking about the taxi driver and his wife.
Yes.
So really, the police don't seem to have a line where to go, to draw up to.
But it's not just the police,
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. The police live in a society, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
And in that society, there's a culture, and we're all imbibing that culture and living in accordance with it, right? In one way or another.
Yeah.
And the police are victims of it too.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
But I mean, if the corruption starts at the top, which I'm talking about the government itself, of course it's going to filter down.
Well, we were told by a former Prime Minister that the law is not a shackle. We were told by a Minister of National Security that in Jamaica, the man who plays by the rules is the man that gets shafted. Okay.
But I mean, the government.
Look here, I have to take a break. Okay. It's going to be a pretty long break for the news.
Okay.
If you give us a number, you see off there. We'll call you back.
Okay then.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, time for the news. We'll be back here, as I said, in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Okay, let's go to our telephone calls. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have a little situation to talk to you about.
Yes?
Yeah, because for the past four months, I've been working by the Bahama Principal.
By the what?
The Bahama Principal, that's a P3 hotel.
Uh-huh.
And from that time we have...
By
Principal.
Principe.
Yeah, Principal.
Principe.
Yeah.
Like Thipe.
Yeah.
Bahia Principe.
Yeah.
Principe. Uh-huh.
And we haven't get any gratuity from that time because...
Gratuity?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Because in our contract they state that when the hotel is officially open, we will get gratuity. And the hotel opened from the 20th of December.
Uh-huh.
And we haven't get any gratuity from...
Gratuity being the tips that your customers give you?
Yeah, that's what they take out of the guests, like the 10%.
Uh-huh. Oh, they take 10% from the guests?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We haven't get it.
Eh?
We haven't get any. And they don't tell me when we're going to get it.
Oh. So look here, you have a union there?
No, we don't have one.
Why?
Well, because the hotel is freshly open, so... And most of us is not on staff, so...
Most of you not on staff?
Well, me is on staff, but a couple other people is not on staff.
Meaning what? That they're working there on a casual day-by-day basis?
Yeah.
Oh.
But...
Like how many of them?
Well, it's a whole lot. Because right now the house is like full up and we not get no gratuity.
Uh-huh.
We don't know what's going on, so we don't know what you can do for it.
Well, I don't know that I can do anything. If that is the arrangement that you have with them, that they don't pay you gratuity.
No, the arrangement we
have... Maybe they
them,
will say they pay you an extra salary, so that you can get on without gratuity.
No, but the arrangement we have in that state, when the hotel is officially open, we will get gratuity.
Yeah, oh, I see what you mean, yes. When was it officially opened?
The 20th.
20th of...
December.
Of December?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So they haven't given... You haven't asked them why you haven't got the gratuity?
Well, we asked them and we're not getting no information or anything. Oh. Because they send out a memo that we would get gratuity like in March.
A written memo?
Yeah. And next they come back and then take up back the memo and said they don't know who sent it out.
Oh.
So we don't really know what happened. So that's why I try to call you and find out.
Yes.
What you can do for you or what.
Uh-huh. Well, you say you can't, there's no point having a union because the the workers are not, the majority of the workers are not on staff. So they can fire the whole bunch of them one time, I suppose. Eh? Mark, I don't know. No. I don't, hold on a moment for me.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here on that.
Okay, sir.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes, you were saying.
Yeah, what you were saying,
Oh,
sir.
yes, I don't know really what to tell you. I'd have to sort of find some way of looking into it, you know.
Okay, sir.
But maybe what you people might do is talk to one of the union people or to the Ministry of Labour.
Okay.
Right? Or to them both. Okay?
All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, hello?
Hello, good evening, Sir Perkins.
Well, good afternoon to you, Mom.
Yes, sir. I'm calling if you can help me with this. I have a little problem here with JPS.
With what?
JPS.
Uh-huh.
And the 25th of January to the 19th of February, my bill come to $10,938.02.
$10,938.
$10,938.02. And the previous bill before that was $771.15. And I don't use no more light because that was from the 19th of December 2006 to January 25th, 2007. All right. And then the bill following that now to January 25th, 2007 to February 19, 2007, it jumped from that to $10,938.02. So I don't know, Mr. Perkins, if you can help me with it because I'm a poor pensioner. I'm getting only $4,780 per month.
Per month.
From the pension.
4,000.
Yes, sir, from the NIS pension.
A month or a fortnight?
Month, Mr. Perkins. I have a stub here that I can send to you or anybody can come check. So I don't know what to do because me know that I don't have nothing like any washing machine, cooking with electric, all those things.
Yes.
I have my little television, I have my little fridge, and I'm a 95-year-old mother live along with my a grandson that is he is an ability. You understand?
He what?
He's not that mental righteous because
yes.
You see? So I don't know, Mr. Perkins, if you can help me because I don't know what to do, sir.
Oh boy, have you been in touch with the what's it called? What's it called? The OUR. Have you been in touch with them?
I'm in Capitan, you know, Mr. Perkins.
Eh?
I'm in Capitan. Clarendon, Chapelton.
Oh, Chapelton.
Yes.
Yes, but you can write to the OUR about it.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Because when I went to Maypen after I got it, I rushed after them. They tell me that they have to pay it because it come through my meter.
You know, Mom, one of the things that's gone wrong in this place?
Yes, sir.
The government should have insisted that if you put a meter, if you enter into an arrangement with the public service company.
Yes, sir.
And the public service company is coming to put a meter in your place.
Yes.
Right? Then, if that meter is read.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes, sir.
Right? Well, presumably it would be 000.
Yes.
Whatever. Right? Well, if you know when it was 0 and you get all the bills since then and you hold the bills, then you would be able to calculate at any time, 10, 15, 20 years from then.
Yes.
Right?
I have all my bills, sir.
You have all your bills, yes, but you don't have that initial number on the meter.
Yes.
Right? And what the government should do is insist
yes.
that the public service company, even customers like you and like me,
yes, sir.
who have been with them for some time,
yes.
right? The meter could be read and an official reading given out to each customer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So that at any time in the future,
yes.
that bill can be checked.
Yes, sir.
Right? But they haven't done that. Right?
No, sir.
And the public service company seems to be in a position to give you any bill it chooses to give you.
Yes.
Right?
But as for me, you see, Mr. Perkins. Mr. Perkins.
Yes. I wonder if we can get the OUR on the line.
I would like that too, sir. Because I'm not going to pay it, Mr. Perkins, because I don't use that amount.
But they're going to cut off your lights?
Let them cut it off. That is the only thing that they can't, because I tell them that when they're ready, they can come cut it off because I'll go back to my lamp. Because I'm not paying it, because I wait, Mr. Perkins, if I did wait, because I don't have no balance and no bill, I don't wait, because it was, you are going to burn $771. What I like. Me no have bakery, me no have dead house, me no do no commercial business, and 1 month it I got jump to 10,000. No,
it can jump higher than that.
Something wrong. I make up my mind.
Something wrong?
To go back to me.
Something wrong, that is the understatement of the year.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
That same company that came and bought this, carry on, well, something went wrong in California with them. Right?
Yes,
and they got into some hell of a trouble in the United States for it.
I know, sir, because I listen to your program and I hear everything.
Boy, I tell you something.
So,
the government of Jamaica has sold out the people of Jamaica, Mom.
This is one of the solid achievements that Sister P brings to a poor old pensioner like me.
Yes.
As I may give me service over 30 years service. And that's all I can get.
and they have surplus in the NIS,
Yes, sir.